So let's start. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us today for this new webinar hosted by Woody Technologies. I'm Aurélien Brel, one of the founders of Woody Technologies and the sales director, and I'm really happy to welcome you for this new session dedicated to our partner, Automated. Today you will learn a lot about automated products, automated factory, and share it, and how they can help you to streamline your content creation workflows. And of course, we will mention all the integrations that exist between Woody Technologies solutions and automated solutions to make it easier. I am really happy to welcome today Jean McGuirk and Frédéric Crétet, the Sales Director and Head of Operations at Automated. Hello, Jean. Hello, Frédéric.
Hello. Hi, Owen.
And thank you very much for being with us today. Just before we start, one or 2 points just to mention that you have a chat box in the webinar window where you can ask us your questions. So do not hesitate to type your questions during the demo and the presentation, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation to give you all the answers to your questions. To start, a few words about Woody Technologies for those of you who do not know the company yet. Woody Technologies is a French-based company focusing on media and metadata processing workflows and supplying software to broadcasters and post-production companies for that. We have 15 years of experience working with broadcasters and post-production companies, and we have a deep knowledge of television post-production workflows. We try to do user-oriented and flexible solutions. This is really our state of mind, and we are working daily with editors, journalists, operators to better understand how we can help them, what are their pain points, and how we can fix some of them with our solutions. In terms of product line, we now have different products focusing on, as I said, media and metadata processing. So mainly during ingest and outgest, ingest to the post-production environment with integrations with various production asset management and media asset management systems, and outgest to publish content from post-production environments to web, playout, archive, or various systems. Our technology is embedded as a third party in ShareIt that you will show later in a few minutes. So it's really important for us to be open to our partners and to allow them to use our technology in their products. And one of the things to say is that Woody Technologies is providing some custom developments, custom integrations for some customers based on specific requests. We work with many partners in this industry. Automated, of course, is one of them and one of the closest partner we have. You can see here on this slide that we are also partnering with media asset management vendors, camera vendors, transfer acceleration technologies vendors, storage vendors as well, and of course cloud providers for cloud deployments. So it's these partnerships are really important to us, as our products are really open to all these solutions, and our goal is to integrate with most of these solutions, of course. One very quick word about our customers. Some of them are shown here. We have customers in more than 15 countries in the world now. And as you can see here, we have all sizes of broadcasters or post-production companies currently using Woody Technology solution, including very, very famous ones and very big players of the industry. Just a bit of a technical overview, very quick, because do the link with what you will see with automated presentation. Woody products are all based on the same Woody engine, which is capable of a lot of media and metadata processing operations, and which has been developed for years by our engineers. And this engine doing transcoding, doing rewrapping, transforming and transporting metadata is triggered through an API by various user interfaces, which can be our own user interfaces like Woody Intuit or Woody Social for camera or for social media ingest. But these tasks can also be triggered by third parties. And of course, automated products are one of these third parties with Share It Here. On the other side, Woody Engine integrates with a lot of various systems, including production asset management systems, transfer technologies, social networks, etc. And the use case that you will show later with Share It is completely using one of these integration with Avid environments. So now, Jean, can you tell us a bit more about Automated as a company and about your products?
Yes, I can indeed. So good evening or good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. The company Automated was created about 3 years ago with the aim to simplify and enhance workflows for the content creation teams, which you all know can be a bit of a pain in the neck, as we say, at times. So that's initially how the company started off. And as you can see from our next slide, we have, over the past years, some of the major players in the TV and media industry who have placed their trust in us, may they be broadcasters, post houses, play-out centers, corporate customers, and even educational. So amongst these customers, as some of you I see know already, we've got two products, one called Shared and the other called Factory. So some of these companies have either opted for both products, or they have just taken Shared, for example, which is an off-the-shelf product, really, which we'll go into more detail later on. When it comes to our partners, of course, I think like any company that's starting off, you want to partner with the most renowned ones, the renowned brands, those that will enable you to reach most customers. So from that list, you can see, of course, we have Woody Technologies, we have Aspera, we've got Avid, Cantamo, Adobe. So these are the guys that we partnered with to be able to have the biggest reach possible. And of course, as time goes by for our products, we discuss as well with other third parties further integrations as time goes on. So as I mentioned, we've got two products, one called Factory and the other called Shared. So we're going to start off with Factory today. Factory is our solution to automatically generate customized videos. So my colleague Fred is now going to take the screen and take you into the actual system and show you how it all works.
So Factory is a platform to generate automatically video, and we use Adobe After Effects as a graphic engine. So for the beginning, the technical infrastructure, there is a server. The server is a Linux machine which recreates, which generates all the web UI. And you need to have a rendering machine. Rendering machine is a Windows machine with Adobe After Effects, with Media Encoder. And we developed an agent to make the rendering machine discuss with the server. So it's very simple. The minimum number of rendering machine is 2. And if you want to produce a lot of content, you need to have more machine. So for an example of the content we generate, we have Eurosport as a big customer, and Eurosport generates 800 promo with our system fully automatically, and they only have 5 rendering machines. So all is web-based. So in that case, I am inside Chrome. So when I connect to the system, of course, we manage a user with, you can filter your user with different level of rights. So with the current user, here on the top of the Windows, I have a panel tab, and in this tab, this is all graphic templates available in my system. And on the bottom of the page, it's a pending request, it's a work order. So to begin a new request, to create, for example, a new promo for Eurosport, I will select this one. So the Navig, just one click on the icon here, and it will start a new generation of video. So we need to enter data and select media to the system. Of course, all manual operations we will do in this demo can be also possible with API. So if you have a traffic system or any system which can send web service to a factory, you can imagine a fully automatic system with no human operation. So of course, the first step when you want to create a promo is to select the source element. So in that case, I need to select clean promo and source images. So how to select a clean promo with a web browser? Of course, there is a lot of security problem and issue. And most of the time, the producer can't access to the production storage. So how we fix that? Our server can access to the production storage, and we developed a connector to easily select a media inside the browser. So here, I select this element. This element is a video clip. We have a small widget with that to easily check if it is a relevant element I want. So I click OK. Next step is to select, for example, source images. So with this promo, I need to select a background image for the head page. So I will take Champions League background image, and I need to select the Champions League logo. So each time I select a graphic element or a video element, I always have a preview inside the web interface. So now I have an editorial tab to enter editorial data. So I just will rename the title of the promo. And select the good brand because Eurosport have multiple brands in Europe. And why not select a sponsor to add after the promo? So I will select this one, for example. So it's a video clip to add just after the promo. So at this step, I have selected media. I have entered editorial data, but absolutely don't know what it will look like. So we need to have a preview. So because we use After Effects as a graphic engine, After Effects is great, but sometimes it's a little bit slow. So if I have to trigger a regular render with After Effects, maybe I have to wait 1 minute to have a feedback. If I have to wait 1 minute in front of my screen, it's not a great experience for the user. So we developed a preview feature. So now I click on Generate Preview. The concept is very simple. In After Effects composition, you just put marker on important times, and when the system found a marker, it only generates a still picture. And we can do it between 5 and 10 seconds maximum. So now the show preview is available. And I have the beginning of the promo, the middle of the promo with the lower third, for example, the beginning of the head page. Producer like to check times like that when there is a wipe between the main promo and the head page. It's important. And the final composition of my end page here. And of course, the different step of the sponsor after. So if I want to change the background image because I don't like this one, I go back to source image, select another one, I regenerate a preview. It's very fast. And now it is a new background image. So when, if it is okay for me, I just click on generate button. And the first rendering machine available on my system will take this request and render the file. So you see the status of the request change. Now it's in progress and disappear because it's not now it's not a pending request, it's an in processing request. So if I want to monitor in real time what happens, I have to click on the processing tab here. And because we develop an agent to make the rendering machine discuss with the main server, you have in real time the progress of the progress on the render with After Effects. So now we have a rendering machine which generates a media on the temp local folder. The big question is what we do after with this media. We need to deliver. You need to deliver the media, and of course, for each customer is different. Sometimes it's really simple. Sometimes we have to make complex operation like put the file to a shared storage, execute web service, etc., etc. So how we manage all these complex operations to deliver the files? We develop with the platform a workflow engine. So if I go now in Workflow Designer, and if I search for Interplay, this one, for example. So this is a workflow. So on the right here, I have different tools available. For example, I can execute web service. I can trigger file copy, zip, unzip, etc., etc. So the concept is very simple. For each template, you can assign a delivery workflow. So for this one, for example, for each file generated by After Effects, we will execute these two tasks in parallel. So this one and this one. And after, we send an email to the producer to explain, okay, the file is delivery, and you can look at the preview of the promo at this place. So in details, first step is to copy the file to an ingest folder. We trigger a web service to share it engine. Share it engine will import the file in Avid Interplay Production. We monitor all this process with the Share It API. And if all is okay, the file is delivered. And if there is a problem, we can send a notification to the support. In parallel, we create a proxy, and we send this proxy to an FTP server. When it's done, we send an email to the producer with the URL of the uploaded file. So, of course, all is easy customizable. For example, if I want to upload the file to Amazon S3, for example, I just have to add a task here. I have to configure my Amazon access credential and the file path. Just connect the Amazon task, S3 task like that, and that's it. And so all is customizable to deliver the file. And of course, we use the same tools to get data to other systems. So we can easily connect the platform to any system without custom development. So I think now the render is done. So it's not mandatory, but sometimes customer ask us to add a review and approval step in the workflow. So now I have a new task, a task of validation. So I click on it. And I have we generate a proxy from the final render of After Effects. So now I can check the promo with the different steps. And of course, if I have selected audio tracks, we can hear the sounds now. And after that, we have the sponsor. So if it is okay for me, I click on validate or not. I can change the status. I can enter comment if there is a problem. And we can automatically send an email notification, for example, to the manager or the promo department. Okay, this promo, there is a problem and you have to trigger a new generation, for example. So if I click OK in this example, I just have to open to show you what can happen. So in this example, for this promo, we send the promo to Contemo Portal. Contemo Portal is a man. So it's very simple. I am connecting to the web UI. And I have to wait a few seconds and think. You see, the new asset is here now. So now the MAM system is generating a proxy, and it's very simple to you just have to click it's okay, and the file is imported automatically on Contemo Portal. So another example, sometimes customers use our platform to generate lower form. So just to text field. Generate preview. So a very basic lower form. You just click on generate, and the render is very quick in that case. It's rendering. So we send the project to a media encoder, and with this template, I configure the system to put the file in straight in Avid Interplay Production of Avid MediaCentral Production Management, the new name. And when it's done, we will have the new assets available in Interplay Access. It's okay. So now if I go here, with access on my development system, F5, AUC, the asset is available in my Interplay system. And if you see the icon here is not a master claim icon, it's an effective icon, because we are with our partner with our partner with the technology, we can easily create a workflow like that. So the system can also present to you a dashboard to have a statistic to easily see how you use the platform, how promo you do per weeks, per month, per template, etc., etc.
So thanks, Fred, for the factory demo. Let's just switch screens again. So we're back here. So what are the real key benefits of such a solution? So as you could see, it's fully automated. So that in turn leaves less room for error and also improves the efficiency for the teams. And on top of that, it can also help you to increase the volumes of promos that you're actually creating within the different teams. It's a hybrid solution, as Fred mentioned, so it can be on-premise or in the cloud. As we've integrated, what Fred showed you was the integration that we've done with Contimo Portal and with Avid. So we can say that we're API readiness, and we can integrate with any system that you have set up, may it be your MAM or your traffic system. So this is something that we're going to be increasing, in fact, the number of different MAMs and traffic systems as times go by. So this in turn will give us a bigger a portfolio of customers also. So with this tool, I mean, the fastest you go, the faster you're going to get your brands out on the market. So the go-to-market, when you have a channel, a brand that you want to get out there, this is the sort of tool that will enable you to reach the deadlines and be more efficient in the tasks that need to be done. So let's maybe move now on to Share It. Share It is our second software. So this is our solution that helps the After Effects and Photoshop users to connect, import, export, or to render media to and from their MAM systems or their traffic systems when they need to extract metadata, etc. So Fred is going to take the screen again, and he's going to give us a quick demo of Share It, which I'd like to add is an off-the-shelf product and very simple to install and quick.
Okay, so Share It. So we'll start with a typical use case. If I am an After Effects artist and if I created this animation, if I want to send this animation to an Avid editor with a MediaCentral production management environment, I have to trigger an export with After Effects with a lot of complex settings inside After Effects. And then I have to wait for the render, put the file to a shell folder, probably take my phone, call the Avid editor. The Avid editor have to manually import the file in the Media Composer, wait for the import. Sometimes it could be long. And of course, each time we have windows with complex settings. And as you probably know, it generates a lot of mistakes and issues, a lot of color space issues, field order issues, never the good format, etc., etc. And of course, a problem of quality. So how we fix that? In After Effects, I just have to open a panel. So Windows, extensions. Here I have Share It with MediaCentral Production Management. So the panel is opening now. So with this panel, I have different profile here. You see, I have a list with different profile. A profile is a group of rights, a group of settings. And with the production profile here, I have access to this part of interpret tree. So in my panel, in After Effects, I can browse inside the interpret tree. Only this part, not all the three, of course. So I will select just a target directory. And dog this panel, sorry for that. So I will select show folder, for example, Nitro, and I just have to select from graphics department directory. I just click on Send Active Composition button, and that's it. For After Effects user point of view, I can close the panel and continue to work. So what happened in background? We send the composition in Avid Media Encoder. So you see Media Encoder on the same machine is rendering. And of course, we can have inside my panel in After Effects the progress of the render if I want. And when the render is done with Media Encoder sends a web service to ShareIt Engine. ShareIt Engine is a server with which manage all operation between the client machine and the Avid infrastructure, Interplay, and Isis or Nexus storage. So ShareIt Engine will take the file, make transcode if needed, rewrap, etc., and it generates OPS on media on Avid storage. And when it's done, we create an asset in Avid Interplay infrastructure. So a lot of stuff running on my machine now, so the render is a little bit slow. But during this time, I can continue to work if I want. I can close the panel and etc., etc. So the panel is available in After Effects. We have the same panel with Photoshop. I will show you with After Effects with Photoshop just after. So now the render is done, and you have the progress of the ingest inside the ShareIt Engine inside my panel. So I hope all is okay. Now it's working. So we can I can show you between the progress.
Perhaps, Fred, we can quickly explain what is happening now in the background on ShareIt Engine. So what happens in ShareIt Engine, which is running some technology of provided by Woody Technologies, is that we are getting the rendered file, we are extracting the alpha channel, we are conforming the media to the target post-production format, can be the NXHD, XTGIM50, AVC Intra, or whatever. And the media and the metadata are processed to both Avid storage, Isis or Nexus here, and to the MediaCentral production management database, where we will create the corresponding asset, which can be, as you mentioned before with Factory, either a master clip or directly matte key effect if we have handled the alpha channel directly.
So I will check the progress of the ingest, not now.
Still progressing, okay.
Yeah.
So let me continue. What can be done in terms of workflow during this process is that we can dynamically configure ShareIt Engine to create folders in the MediaCentral folder tree. So we have seen that Frederic has chosen manually the target folder, but this folder can also be calculated. And in this case, we can create folder per days, folder per show, per user directly in the Interplay database. So it makes everything well organized once it will be available for the editors, and it makes also it very easy to find for the editors who will work with it. Seems that it's done now.
Yeah. So now if I go in my Interplay window in Media Composer, if I go on the, I think the display will be a little bit slow because the system is probably overloaded. Okay. And you see now the clip is here in Interplay window. So the editor, I just have to load the clip in Media Composer, drop the clip in a timeline, and that's it. So we also have the other side. If I look on this folder, you see here I have a master clip available here. So this is the same story. If I want to send this master clip to an After Effects user, I have to trigger a manual export with Media Composer, a lot of manual steps and a lot of possibility to create problem. So now I go back in After Effects and go on Get Media tab, Promo. I will select the same folder. This is the clip I want. I click on Import Selected, and it is the same system. We trigger an order to ShareIt Engine. ShareIt Engine will take OP media on Avid storage corresponding to this asset. We create, we just rewrap OP media to OP1A to the storage we define. And when it's done, we import the clip in After Effects. So because it's only a rewrap operation, we don't have problem of quality, and it's very fast. So now the clip is available in After Effects, and you can use it as a source easily. So that's it for ShareIt.
Great, thank you. Jean, do you want to give us a word about the main benefits of ShareIt for a company?
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, Fred, for the shared demo. So we're just going to get the screen back here and put up the right slide. So what are the key benefits of ShareIt? So as Fred demoed, the actual application sits on the navigator as a panel on the After Effects and Photoshop users' screen. So it avoids having to open so many different applications at once. So it's with the click of a button, they can access their media, import, export back to their MAM. So this in turn, it's a massive time saver for these teams, which the current clients today who are using this, they're really grateful to have this this tool and helps them save time. As in a number of the graphical teams, you have different users that have different rights. So ShareIt enables you to fine-tune the access rights per user. So some may be able just to browse and find media, others export, others import. So this was something that was actually requested by a number of our clients to make sure that not everybody can access the same files and render files. So in turn, the overall benefits, of course, it's as well, it improves the quality of the actual finished media, and it enhances the creativity of the graphical teams to allow them to take on their role more of an artist rather than being engineers. So as you could see, the actual soft itself is very easy to use. It's intuitive. And that's why our customers are very happy today with the product.
Thanks. Thank you, Jean. So yeah, you have seen the two products now, Factory and ShareIt, and what they can offer. So now it's time for your questions. If you have some, I just remind you that you have the possibility to type your questions in the chat box of the webinar, and we will try to answer you as much as we can. Let me just check the questions coming. First question for you, Fred. Is ShareIt panel compatible with all the versions of Adobe Creative Suite?
We are compatible. Sorry.
My mic. We have compatible with from CC17.
Okay, so C17 and the current version is CC18, I think.
Yes, and we are beta tester of After Effects, so we test the pre-release version. So we work for everything is fine when the new version coming.
Okay. Second question is about, do you have any plans for Dalet integration with Dalet Media Management System?
It depends on the product. With Factory, it's easy to deliver a file to Dalet. It's a simple API call, and I think it's a SOAP API. So we already all tools to do it natively in Factory. With Sherit, it's another story. So we are discussing currently with Dalet, and we discuss. The only thing I can say now, we are discussing with Dalet, and it's in progress. Maybe yes, maybe
Great.
no, but yes.
That depends on the project, I guess. Thank you. Next question is with Sherit, when sending graphics from After Effects to Interplay or Media Composer, do you have to select predefined media encoder settings? And what happens if you need to change your media encoder settings?
Yes, we use different presets with media encoder, which are selected automatically. But you can easily customize if needed. It's very simple. The presets are in the program folder in the next to the program. So you just have to edit the preset, change the settings, and that's it. It's possible.
What is interesting to say here is that a lot of settings, a lot of things that happen in the Adobe panel on the client side are driven from the Sherit engine and are configured by the administrator according to the business workflow. So depending on the target format you have defined in Sherit engine profile for the ingest to your MAM, the appropriate preset will be used automatically in media encoder. So that's good to know that the operators, they don't have to manually change themselves the setting, and that the appropriate settings are selected automatically in the background.
So by default, we send a lossless codec to a Sherit engine, and after Sherit engine will encode the file to the needed format. So it's the optimized workflow to have no problem of quality and no multiple generation of all candy.
Great. Another question coming is, can we combine Sherit and Factory in the same installation?
Yes, we have multiple users already do that.
I think we have a scheme of that. I will just get it for you, so you can probably comment. Yes, that's the deployment that you made at Red Bee Media in France, where we have a combination of both.
So at the beginning of the process, there is just a Sherit folder which producer just put Excel files. So we just put Excel files, and then the system read Excel files. We check if already is okay on the Excel files. If there is a problem, we send an email to the producer with the name of Excel file and the error we detect. And if it is okay, we trigger a generation of graphic elements with Factory, and we deliver these elements to MediaCentral production management with Sherit engine, only with API call. So
I guess we can combine that also with After Effects panel if we have some graphics artists who are still working in After Effects. There is no problem with that.
Yes, absolutely no problem.
Yeah,
so
great.
it's
Thanks.
It's a nice workflow from Excel to Interplay. Easy.
Great. Another question is for Eugene about the licensing model. What is the licensing model for ShareIt?
So the licensing model for both can be either OPEX or CAPEX. It's a subscription-based model, depending on, for factory, as you can all imagine, there's as it's really speaking to the traffic or MAM system that you have set up, it's a little bit, there's more integration to do with this product. So there's a build, usually a cost for the build, depending on what you have internally, and the number of seats that you wish to set up for the creative teams. And then for ShareIt, this is like an off-the-shelf product, very quick, very easy to install. It's also as the customer wishes, a CAPEX or OPEX. And then there's an annual small percentage of cost for the support and maintenance. So if anybody wants to receive a quote, don't hesitate to reach out to me on my email address. That's right in front of you.
Great. Another question coming is about the hardware and software required to deploy ShareIt with Interplay Production or MediaCentral environment. So for the engine, the ShareIt engine is running on a Windows-based server. Of course, for transcoding to the house format and for all the alpha channel extraction phase, the CPU is important, so you need to have quite a good CPU. We have some recommendation for that, and Jean can share with you all the requirements, the technical requirements for ShareIt engine. So that's for the hardware, and for the software, you need an ISIS or Nexus client installed on the engine. But the good point is that you don't need to install a Nexus and ISIS client directly on the client. So on the Adobe workstations, if they don't have Avid clients yet, you don't need to, because all the communication with the Avid storage is managed by ShareIt engine. Frederick, for the client side of ShareIt, can we use both Windows and Mac OS systems?
Yes, both OS are supported, so Windows or Mac, no problem. And for the hardware side, it's a typical workstation for After Effects machine, so no special requirements for use ShareIt.
Great, thank you. And as I mentioned, we have plenty of documentation that we can share with those who are interested in knowing more and knowing the exact requirements. I think that we have answered to all the questions we had today. Just one last question for Frederick. What kind of data source can be used to feed the factory templates?
For the factory templates, we can read any kind of format. We have connector to read, as you saw, Excel files, XML files. We can get the data with web services, REST or SOAP. We can read any data from any system, and after, with the workflow engine, we can easily transform and process this data to make this data are readable for the system. So all is possible from our side. We have integration with. I have another example with RTL at Netherlands. They manage all the production of promo with. I don't remember the name of the tool for it's with FileMaker server. So all the production is organized with FileMaker. So they develop a little stuff in FileMaker to just send a web service to factory server. And factory server gets all the data from the FileMaker, so all editorial data, all technical data. With that, we generate a promo, we deliver the file to Avid Interplay, and when it's done, we send back a message to FileMaker. And the producer has the status of this request changing inside FileMaker easily. So from FileMaker to Interplay, just in one click.
So many data sources available. I will just answer one last question because it's a short one. It's about the minimum version of Interplay which is required for ShareIt engine. So we are supporting a wide range of versions of Interplay Production and MediaCentral Production Management until the very last one, 2018.9, but also from quite old versions like Interplay 2.2. So we can even support some earlier versions, but our qualified version, minimum version is Interplay 2.2 and the higher versions. So I think we are done with the questions. Of course, if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Also, you can follow us on the various social networks, and you can find more information, of course, on our respective websites. Thank you very much, Jean. Thank you, Frederic, for your time today, for joining us today for this webinar.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you to everyone who joined today. Sorry for the small technical issues we had, but I hope that you had a good overview of the benefits of automated and Woody solutions. And I'll see you next time for a new webinar. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Aurélien. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.